The US dollar just collapsed. It just collapsed entirely. It had been free falling for probably the last 50 years, and it finally collapsed. Congratulations, politicians. You literally just killed the American dream. You killed it because of the greed and because of the lack of responsibility. You cannot kick the can down the line to the next presidential campaign. You can't do it. This is what would inevitably happen. It had happened. Our economy's in the toilet. And when I say collapsed, I mean collapsed, guys. If you don't know, we have interest-bearing notes. So our interest-bearing notes are based on what the Fed wants to print. It's supposed to be backed by gold, but it's absolutely not backed by gold. In fact, it's not backed by anything. It's not backed by anything. It's nothing. It's fugazi. Nothing. At the beginning of 2026, 95% of all the value held within the American US dollar was diminished. It was down to the last 5%. And this war in Ukraine just pushed it over. You're going to see a massive, massive explosion in prices. And people aren't going to be able to afford things. And so thank you a lot. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate that. You know, I don't understand how they could take control of our money and then just give us paper. They just give us paper. They take control of what is actually valuable. And for the record, is gold actually valuable? Can I eat gold? No, it's a scarce commodity, just like seashells or anything else. But we entrusted them to hold our money and to reserve our money and to have our best interest at heart. And what did they do? They took advantage of us. They've been taking advantage of us. Funny enough, there's only been 3 presidents that wanted to get off of interest-bearing notes. The first, Abraham Lincoln. Didn't end up too well for him, now did it? The second, JFK. And thirdly, initially, Donald Trump. And yet, he really just threw that entire idea to the wayside the second he got shot at. So, the US dollar is now nothing. It's nothing. Just wait. It hasn't reached us yet, but it is nothing. It is nothing. Absolutely nothing. I know that I'm just repeating myself over and over, but I really don't know a better way to put it. I don't know a better way to put it because you're going to feel the pain of this. This coming at the same time as artificial intelligence is taking over the majority of US jobs within the next 6 months. It's going to be the straw that broke the United States' back. We can't survive. It was great. We went on a short run, but it was a good run, right? Clap, applaud. We did really good. But we ruined our financial system with greed and negligence, I suppose. Just pure negligence. It's sad because the majority of people are just everyday hardworking Americans that thought that this was actually backed by something. They thought that paper was backed by something, and it isn't. It isn't backed by anything. It's useless. I have tons of it, and it's absolutely useless. They're stealing from us. That's why back 50 years ago, you may have got 5 cents an hour, but Coca-Cola was 3 cents. Now, you're getting what? What is minimum wage? What's the average everyday American? What is their average income? What's their average hourly wage? You guys know how I feel about hourly wage. I tell you guys all the time if you watch my content. And hopefully you do. By the way, make sure you like and subscribe. 54% of you that watch the content are not subscribing to the channel. So hit subscribe right now. But getting back to what I was saying. What's the average income? Is it $18 an hour? Good luck living on that, buddy. Good luck living on that when rent is $3,000 for a cheap 1-bedroom apartment. Your grocery bill every time you go to get groceries every single week is going to be $400, $500. Health insurance is going to climb tremendously. If you want a new car, expect to pay $65 to $70K. I'm not talking about a Maserati. I'm talking about a Honda Civic. That is what inflation does, and they have destroyed our currency. Our currency is gone. What can we do about it? Nothing. We could have stopped it, but it would have been immensely painful, and so they just kicked the can down the line, because they didn't want to be considered the bad guy that failed the American people. That, or maybe they're just playing us. Maybe the entire time they were just playing us, just stealing from us, little by little, siphoning money, more and more, until it's all gone. Because they can jump off the ship. If this is the Titanic, it's sinking. They can jump off, but we're stuck on the Titanic. All of our belongings, all of our efforts, all of our hard work is attached to the ship that is sinking. And now it's finally sunk. It'll be a while before you feel it. Maybe 6 months, but I'm telling you, you will feel it. You're going to feel it. For the record, I am not the biggest Bitcoin advocate in the entire world. I think that initially when it first came about many, many, many years ago, I mined a couple and then they just got lost. I'm not an advocate for Bitcoin, but we have to have something. We have to have something. The only reason why we have the US dollar, initially it was because we made it stand for something. It was backed by something. We held up our end of the bargain. It was reliable. It has been the most reliable currency that the world has ever known. Up until right about now. And now it's not. That's the whole reason why we all accept the dollar. If you went to your employer and they tried to pay you in seashells, you would say, what the fuck is this? I can't use this. No one's going to accept this. And yet we accept dollars every day. And furthermore, we don't even accept physical cash. You know, it's getting to the point to where every single piece of physical cash that we print costs more in material than the cash is actually worth. It's insane. And I'm not just talking about the penny, guys. I'm talking about all of the change. And furthermore, the $1 bill. Why do you think they're getting rid of the $1 bill? Because it costs more to make the $1 bill than what its perceived value is. And for the record, its perceived value is zero. Nothing. So I would be extremely upset if I were you. I know I am. I don't know what to do about it because there's nothing that can be done, guys. There's nothing we can do. Our dollar just went down the drain, and it's due to ludicrous spending. And furthermore, it's due to you, because there's a lot of people out there that are using the government, unnecessarily using the government. If you are a mom that is fully capable of working and you have 5 different kids with 5 different baby daddies, then you should not be sifting off of the government's teat. You should be going out and fending for yourself, like in the old school days when if you didn't work, you didn't eat. But yet, something like 15 to 20% of Americans, all Americans, get subsidized housing, or they get subsidized income to some extent. I'm talking almost 20% of all Americans get some sort of government help, and they can totally help themselves. Now no one can help anyone because our money is worthless. It's worthless. People aren't even accepting our money. That's part of the reason why we went to Iran to begin with. They are not accepting our money anymore. So we have to take them over. We have to do a regime change in order for them to accept the United States dollar because we need that oil. And we couldn't pay for it because they said, look, guys, this IOU is nothing but a false promise. I'm not accepting this. And rightfully so. I wouldn't accept it either if I wasn't ingrained within it. It's nonsense, guys. I'd be so upset if I were you. I know I am. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed that past politicians have stolen from me before I was even born. And I was born into a society that, although it's great, although it's grand, it's been stolen from me. This prosperity has been stolen from me to a certain extent by a previous generation. We have cashed more than we had in our account. And so now we're going to have to pay. We're at such a deficit now to where if this was just a typical corporation or company, you would say, throw in the can. Throw in the can. It's irredeemable. You have to get rid of it. Take it behind the barn and shoot it. But yet it's the United States. And so we think we're big and we're bad. And you know what's going to happen? We're going to start taking shit over. That's why they increased the age that you could draft into the military. That's why they're doing all of these things that they're doing, is because they want to solve this, but it's a temporary band-aid. You're putting a band-aid on a cancerous tumor, and it's going to grow and spread until it eats us alive as Americans. The US dollar is done. It's sad, but it's done. You'll start to feel the pain of this, and I think you might have started to already feel the pain. Let me know in the comments below if you have felt the pain when you go to the grocery store, when you get gas, when you get anything, guys. I remember back in the day, I could get things for much, much cheaper. Much, much cheaper. You go to McDonald's, it's what, $25 for a meal? Maybe $15, but $25 if you get an adequate meal, and it's not even nourishment. That was supposed to be what people ordered when they didn't have money. Now, it takes money to even go to McDonald's. It takes so much money that people are like, chill, I can't go to McDonald's. I'm on a limited budget here. I can't get a McGriddle because I have to pay my bills. And by the way, I have other videos explaining why all of this has happened. So go, feel free to check those out. I'm not going to speak about it now. I just thought it was interesting how people online that are in the know are saying that the United States is absolutely beyond repair. And it just happened just recently. The United States has lost almost 100% of all of its buying power. It's gone. And when it's gone, it is gone. It won't come back. You can't fix it. You can't make something out of nothing. It's gone. And we're to blame. So, have a nice day. I don't know how to fix it, but have a nice day. Because that's all we can do. We could all pretend like it's all fun and merry, and you'll accept my money and I'll accept yours, but it's nothing. It's not backed by anything. Money, people don't understand money. Money is supposed to be backed by energy, backed by power, backed by resource. It's a way to extend out energy that has already been expelled in return for someone else's energy. And that's what bartering and trading is. But see, we're not on a bartering and trading sort of level anymore. We're on a corrosive sort of level where the government sifts all of your money away from you. What was the thing about no representation without taxation? Guys, they were being taxed, I believe, 3%. When they took that tea and threw it over, they tossed it into the water because they did not want to be taxed. And they were taxed at 3%. Maybe it was 5%. It was a very minuscule amount. Look at what we're taxed now. What happened? What happened, guys? I don't even think it's just government subsidies towards individuals that get a little bit of help. You know what I think it is? I think they're legitimately stealing from us. They've gotten too big for their britches and they're stealing from us. And they're not going to cut themselves. If they cut out spending, they're cutting themselves. They're literally cutting pieces of them away. The very people that say this needs to go are the people that's lives and jobs depend on that same thing staying. And so they aren't going to say a peep. They're going to do anything. They're going to blame it on something else. They're going to blame it on migration. They're going to blame it on AI. But the truth is that they've known this for a very long time. They've known it since the Civil War, and the Founding Fathers knew it. If you give your money over to a separate entity, it will inevitably end the United States as we know it. And took about, 250 years? It did it. Dude, 250 years is a drop in the bucket. It's nothing. There's been countries that have been around and are still going strong for the last 15,000 years, 4,500 years, etc., even more powerful. We're 250 years old. We're a baby. And we ruined it. We ruined it. Other countries didn't have to fear us. They just had to wait us out. And this is what happened. We lost. We lost everything. It's very sad. And the majority of you will say, I have no idea what you're talking about. Just wait. You'll feel it. You'll hear glimmers, and then Trump will say, nothing's wrong, greatest economy in the world. We have the greatest. Some say it's the greatest. I think it's sensational. Look at oil prices. They're going down. They're not going down. It's artificial. Everything's artificial. Just like the De Beers company and diamonds. Diamonds are forever, right? It's all artificial. It's an artificial market. And you've seen how things around you have become more and more expensive. They're not more and more expensive. What they're doing is they're adjusting for inflation. Your dollar that you work for is becoming less and less powerful. And here soon, you're going to start feeling it. And it's going to be tremendously more painful than what it even is at the current day. It's going to get very, very painful for Americans. They're going to get fed up with it. The question is, what do you do about it? You're on a sinking ship. Do we attempt to mend together the Titanic after it's broken in half, or do we jump ship? I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know down below in the comments.